Hi, everyone, and welcome to my very first episode of Every Mind Matters, a podcast dedicated to sharing real stories, real struggles, and real solutions for students with special needs. I'm your host, Maddie Bauman, and I created this podcast because of a story that's incredibly close to my heart. My younger sister's. My sister has Down syndrome, and for a while she attended a public elementary school where my mom also worked. You'd think having a parent inside the school would mean she'd be safe, supported, and given the right tools to grow, but sadly, this wasn't the case. My sister wasn't receiving the education she needed or deserved. She was being left behind academically, not given the individualized support her disability required, and even more heartbreaking, she was being bullied, hit, and emotionally hurt. As both a mother and a staff member, my mom witnessed it all up close, and it broke her. Today, she's sharing a powerful message about what that experience was like, what she saw, how it made her feel, and why she knew something had to change. Her voice, as both a parent and a professional, is raw and honest, and it's one of many stories we need to hear to spark change. Here on Every Mind Matters, this is just the beginning. In future episodes, I'll be talking about how we can do better, how teachers can be better supported and trained to help students with special needs, how schools can create safer, more inclusive environments, and what real solutions look like for educational growth. Because every student deserves a chance, every family deserves to be heard, and every mind truly does matter. Now, here's my mom sharing her story.
From day one that we started there, Maya was in a regular first grade classroom, and she was to be pulled out for one-on-one assistance in math and English. And then she would remain with the rest of her class and go on to all of their different blocks for PE and art and music. And very shortly into it, I started realizing that Maya was not wanting to go to school. She was coming home crying. She was coming home with marks on her. And so I started to get concerned about what was going on at the school. And I, after careful thought, decided, I think maybe I need to have a much closer eye on Maya's education and be more involved in it with her. So I elected to take a position at the elementary school. And though I was not in her classroom, I was in an EBD classroom, a short ways down the hall from her. I would be able to see her throughout the day and just have a more, hands-on, eyes-on approach to her education. And it's very hard to put into words the mental, emotional, and physical torment that Maya was experiencing in the public school. She was in a first grade classroom with her regular peers, but they were on a learning track that she was so far behind that her time in her regular classroom was spent in a seat at the back with a piece of paper and a crayon and just being allowed to color, basically. And so she would get pulled out for her one-on-one instruction in an ESE self-contained classroom, which is where she's supposed to be getting the majority of her learning. And this classroom had varying exceptionalities from children with autism, Down syndrome, physical disabilities, and various other mental disabilities that I'm not familiar with, all being watched under the instruction of one teacher. not to mention most of these children were in diapers, and half of them were not able to walk or were not mobile. Most of them were nonverbal. And so I would go down just to visit to see what her environment was like for her to learn one-on-one. And there was a little girl in this classroom that was autistic but extremely violent. And every single day that Maya was going in there, she was hiding in the corner because she was being hit on a daily basis by this child every single day. Not to mention that this child was hitting every other child in the room as well. And within a month's time of the school year, the teacher for that classroom just completely walked out and left the classroom unattended and just could not handle the situation at all. So, at that point, the school started pulling in staff from around the school to help out with this classroom, which included myself and many others around the school. And we were going in, basically taking 1 to 2 hour time blocks, helping out with this ESE self-contained classroom, which my daughter was going into. So every day I would go in there. Sometimes my daughter would be there, sometimes she would not. Every single day that I was going in there, I was being struck by the children in the classroom. And it truly became so concerning to me about what is happening to my daughter and how are we in this place where we're at, and that she's not learning or receiving any of the services that she should be receiving with respect to speech and the different therapies. The speech therapists and OT therapists who were supposed to be giving those services were being pulled down to this other classroom to help out, and months and months and months went by, and they were not able to find anyone who would take the position. And I think probably almost 7 months into the year, they finally found a teacher to take that on. And well, I guess at this point, the damage truly just had already been done, for that year. And being so discouraged, I mean, truly coming home with such a heavy heart every night. I felt like I was really doing Maya wrong and truly needed to find other options for Maya.
Thank you for listening to my mom's story, and for being here for this emotional but important first episode of Every Mind Matters. Her experience is just one example of what so many families go through, feeling unheard, unseen, and unsupported in a system that's supposed to protect and uplift children. No parent should have to watch their child suffer while being told there's nothing more that can be done. But this is exactly why this podcast exists. I'm here to speak up, to ask hard questions, and to push for the change kids deserve. In future episodes, I'll be exploring how we can improve teacher training, build better support systems in schools, and create learning environments where all students, especially those with special needs, can truly thrive. Thanks again for joining me. If this story moved you, please share it, because the more we talk, the more we can do. Until next time, remember, every voice matters and every mind matters.